So the white oppressors came up with good morning as a mockery towards black people.
Oh, really?
Did you guys know that good morning is racist? I mean, shit. Yeah, good morning is racist. Y'all, you can't say good morning. Well, I don't know where you guys are watching from. Good morning. Listen to this young lady. Are you ready to be lectured? I hope you are. If you're not, well, get ready.
So the white oppressors came up with good morning as a mockery towards black people during the slavery times when they used to cry and mourn and grieve over what happened to somebody when they was whipped or killed or taken off to another plantation. So it was their way to make fun of the black slaves crying that night prior. So they would ask them, did you have a good morning? Did you have a good cry? And they would laugh about it. So that was their way of being funny towards the black slaves when they would cry all night about somebody that was hung, somebody that was killed. That was their way to make fun of them. Y'all know what mourning mean. All they did was take the U off of it, so nobody would think about what it really originated from. It was really a mockery towards black slaves and them making fun of what they did to their people when someone was hung, killed, or sold off to a different plantation. So that was their way of being funny. Did you have a good morning? Did you have a good cry about that person's death? Did you have a good cry about your daughter being taken away from you and sold off somewhere else? Did you have a good cry of your brother being hung yesterday? That was their way of being funny. Good morning, everyone.
What?
Yeah. Can somebody say lunacy? Is that you? Even if it was true, I'll be honest with you, I really don't care. But I like to give things the benefit of the doubt. So good morning is now racist. I'm going to let the TikToker have the fight about this. Because, again, I really don't care. I'm sure there's probably some history to racism. I don't think she's completely lying. But is that something we need to worry about in today's culture? We need to make a big deal about this one? Oh, sister, give me a break.
Cry about your daughter being taken away from you and sold off somewhere else? Did you have a good
as far as crying, but why didn't you pull up the
yesterday? That was their way of being funny. Good morning, everyone.
Sis, I got you. You put the definition up of mourning as far as crying, but why didn't you pull up the other definition of mourning as in the time of day? Why didn't you do that? The thing is, my sis, I understand things that happened during slavery was heinous. It was wrong. We all can acknowledge that. We can imagine that people were crying when their kids were taken and, people were being whipped and hung. I can imagine people were, hurt. And I can imagine that there were some people that were laughing. We know that to be factual and be true. But to come out here to say that if I say good morning or good evening or good day or good afternoon, that I'm a racist, or anybody that says that is a racist, that shows me an oppressed mind. And you too beautiful for that, my sister, my queen. You too beautiful for that. Don't fall for the okie doke. I understand they saying all these things, but real talk, we're better than that. When we say good morning, you got to understand the intentionality of words. So when you're saying things, it's the intent. God knows what you mean. And guess what? Y'all believe in the universe? The universe know what you mean. It's all about the frequency in your voice when you say certain things. I know you with me on that, sis. So again, I don't believe into all of that stuff like that, but I believe in intentionality when you say words. So sis, stop the cap and have a good morning, good night, and goodbye. Peace.
And I always tell it like it is.
Well done.
This ought to be a good one.
When the slaves used to cry about what happened all night long, the white slave masters, the oppressors, will wake up in the morning time and they'll tell the slaves, did you have a good morning?
This has to be one of the most embarrassing videos I've seen on this app. You want to know the craziest part? This story's actually been hashed out before. Listen, Google is free to use, so don't be making up crazy, wild things. Now, I understand that if you're a hammer, everything that you look at is a nail. Just like if you are a person that believes you are oppressed by your race or ethnicity, everything that you see around you is trying to oppress you. But the truth is, the word or phrase good morning has nothing to do with racism.
Y'all know what morning mean. All they did was take the U off of it, so nobody would think about what it really originated from.
The word morning, M-O-R-N-I-N-G, and the word morning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, they're not related. Simply removing the U? What kind of English is that? That's not how it works at all. Now, it is possible that this young woman is trolling, but scrolling through her videos, I don't think so. She comes from, I'm an oppressed person mindset and mentality. So listen, no hate. I hope you see my video so you can educate yourself, so you can stop feeling so pressed on a phrase that literally is not at all what you think that it is.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. I think the level of desire to be a victim in our society, again, victimhood and oppression has a price attached to it. It's expensive. And I think a lot of people do this for the purpose of either getting attention. In some cases, they just they want to be a victim in order for them to become rich. I don't know. I don't necessarily understand that. I don't know the nature of her message and what she meant by it. I'm not here to judge or condemn. But it seems like one of those TikTok videos that somebody just made in order for me to, for people to react to. And I guess that's why I'm talking about it. I want to say this idea that good morning is racist. Intentionality matter. I love how this man put it. It's like, it's more than just the word. It's what do you mean by it? What is the intent? That's why I don't make a big deal about the name Jesus. For example, there is this movement that tells you the name Jesus is pagan, is Greek and everything like that. And there is some relationship to the name Zeus and Greek gods, and because really in Hebrew and also in Greek, the letter J is not there. It's supposed to be Yeshua, so that's the real name for Jesus. But the people are not saying that if you say the name Jesus, it's like you're a pagan, you're worshiping a Greek god, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, bro, just get over it. It's a name. And when I call his name, he knows who he is. We can call him Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ as we know him in English. I can tell you Jesus is not upset when you call him Jesus, okay? Now, you can call him Yeshua. So I don't make a big deal about words anymore. I think it's just pathetic and it's old. And it's one of those games that some of these people are playing that I'm like, I don't have time for that. Listen, man, we got to move on. But the desire to be a victim, the desire to be seen as a person, as an oppressed, the oppressor. Now, there's some story behind, I guess, good night as well, because the oppressed, we used to say it. So she's not fully lying. It's just the fact that she's taking an old story and interpretation of a particular word and trying to apply it in our time today. It just doesn't fit. Interpretation change, meaning change, intent change. So does the word. Doesn't necessarily mean she's completely off key. But I think the desire to be a victim today is selling men at a high price. And I think we need to pay less attention to it because it's just the rhetoric is out of control. Nobody really cares about that. We have bigger issues to worry about. We're not going to worry about good morning and make a big deal about that. Anyway, I'm going to leave that matter alone. This is why, friends, you got to put your faith and confidence in Jesus. I think people who are consistently looking for a reason to be oppressed, they just want to feed off the fear of somebody coming to do something to them. They're looking for white supremacists, that boogeyman everywhere. I'm not saying they don't exist, but to say that's the greatest problem we have today in black communities, you must be out your mind. Like, have you seen the crime rate from black people? And you talk about white supremacists? Like, give me a break. Anyway, so that's kind of where I stand when it comes to that. Anyway, share your thought and perspective with me. I don't want to say too much. Go read your Bible. Stop playing game with the internet because we got bigger things to worry about. Have a good one. Bye.